The illusion of progress, how corporate America celebrates while Black women fall behind. Good morning, everyone. Today, I stand before you with insights that will challenge everything you thought you knew about workplace progress in America. These revelations come from my recent transformative conversation with Yvette Hunter for the Pink Parachute Diaries podcast, a visionary whose work has shattered comfortable illusions and forced corporate America to confront its deepest contradictions. Yvette Hunter isn't just a researcher or advocate. She's a force of nature who has dedicated her life to illuminating the invisible barriers that keep Black women from achieving their full potential in the workplace. Her groundbreaking research has exposed the gap between performative diversity and genuine equity. Through her fearless truth telling, she has created a movement that demands not just acknowledgement of Black women's struggles, but substantive, measurable change. When Yvette speaks, boardrooms listen, and uncomfortable truths can no longer be ignored. We live in a time of celebrated milestones and triumphant headlines about diversity. These narratives make us feel good, comfortable, even righteous. But what if I told you that beneath these shining statistics lies a shadow reality that few are willing to confront? In 2025, women reached what was widely hailed as a historic breakthrough: 11% representation among Fortune 500 CEOs. This achievement dominated news cycles. Social media erupted with congratulatory posts. Corporate America basked in the warm glow of apparent progress. But here's what those celebratory headlines deliberately obscured. Of those 55 women CEOs, only two are Black women. Two out of 500 of America's largest corporations. Let that sink in for a moment. Two. This is what Yvette powerfully describes as the illusion of progress. When advances for some groups mask continued or even worsening conditions for others. It's a sophisticated sleight of hand that allows organizations to claim diversity victories while fundamental inequities remain not just unchallenged, but actively reinforced. And this illusion extends far beyond the C suite. In April 2025, while the American economy added 177,000 jobs, Black women lost 106,000 positions, the largest decline of any demographic group. Their unemployment rate surged to 6.1%, while the national average remained steady at 3.9%. This isn't just a disparity, it's a crisis hidden in plain sight. As Yvette explained with characteristic clarity, what appears as progress in corporate diversity may actually be leaving Black women further behind. This insight doesn't just question our metrics, it fundamentally challenges the very stories we tell ourselves about progress in America. During our profound conversation, Yvette revealed three critical insights that illuminate this troubling disconnect. First, progress for women broadly does not automatically translate to progress for Black women specifically. Corporate diversity achievements routinely exclude Black women from leadership opportunities. When we fail to disaggregate data by both gender and race, we become complicit in perpetuating the very inequities we claim to be addressing. Second, Black women face disproportionate economic vulnerability that defies conventional economic patterns. The shocking loss of over 100,000 jobs during a period of economic growth demonstrates how economic shifts impact Black women first and most severely. This isn't random, it's systematic, predictable, and devastating. Third, policy decisions that may seem abstract or merely political have concrete, life altering consequences for Black professionals' careers and livelihoods. The decline in Black women's employment correlates directly with the dismantling of DEI initiatives at federal and corporate levels. Black women in federal positions declined by a staggering 33% in just 1 year, compared to a mere 3.7% drop in the overall federal workforce. These aren't just statistics on a slide, they represent real people with families, dreams, and untapped potential. To understand the human impact behind these numbers, let me share some powerful stories that Yvette highlighted in our conversation. The Sunda Brown Duckett stands as one of only two Black women CEOs in the 2025 Fortune 500 list, leading a major financial services organization. Her journey to the C suite required navigating a corporate landscape where Black women are systematically excluded from leadership pathways, facing dual barriers of gender and racial bias at every step. Throughout her career, Duckett has consistently advocated for financial inclusion while implementing mentorship programs specifically designed to create pathways for women of color in finance. Before becoming CEO of TIA, she served as CEO of Chase Consumer Banking and held various leadership positions at JP Morgan Chase, consistently demonstrating excellence while opening doors for others. Under her leadership, TEYA has strengthened its commitment to diversity in hiring and investment practices. Her visibility alone makes a powerful statement about representation, challenging corporate America's tired excuses for the lack of diversity in leadership positions. But as Yvette emphasized with unflinching honesty, exceptional individual success stories like Duckett's shouldn't distract us from addressing systemic barriers. In fact, celebrating these rare exceptions without acknowledging the structural obstacles can actually reinforce the illusion of progress, allowing organizations to point to one success story while avoiding accountability for widespread exclusion. This becomes painfully clear in another story Yvette shared that reveals how quickly progress can be reversed. In 2024 to 2025, DEI initiatives at the federal level were dramatically rolled back, resulting in that 33% decline in Black women workers in federal positions. Behind this statistic are thousands of Black women who faced sudden policy shifts that eliminated programs designed to promote diversity and inclusion. Many found themselves in increasingly hostile work environments or directly targeted for layoffs as DEI became politicized and demonized. In response, many affected employees formed support networks to provide resources, job leads, and emotional support. Others leveraged their federal experience to transition to roles that maintained stronger commitments to diversity. Federal employment has historically been a critical pathway to middle class stability for Black women, offering better pay equity and advancement opportunities than many private sector alternatives. The rollback of DEI initiatives didn't just change policies, it reversed decades of progress in making the federal workforce more representative. Yet, even in this devastating scenario, Black women demonstrated remarkable resilience. Many who lost federal positions have become vocal advocates for workplace equity, starting consultancies, writing books, and speaking publicly about their experiences. Their activism has sparked renewed attention to workplace equity and highlighted how quickly diversity gains can be reversed without structural protections. The third story Yvette shared reveals how historical patterns of occupational segregation continue to limit economic opportunities for Black women today. Black women remain overrepresented in low wage essential industries like care work, cleaning, education, and food service, where they face both lower wages and greater job insecurity. Despite having higher labor force participation rates than other demographics of women, Black women in these industries earn just 69.1 cents for every dollar paid to white men nationally, and as little as 49.6 cents in states like Louisiana. Some Black women in these industries have pursued unionization efforts, while others have created mutual aid networks to share resources and opportunities. Many have pursued additional education while working full time to create pathways to better paying positions. Black women have historically been concentrated in care and service work, dating back to post emancipation employment patterns. Despite decades of civil rights legislation, occupational segregation continues to limit economic opportunities. As Yvette powerfully stated during our interview, when we celebrate progress without examining who's being left behind, we perpetuate the very inequities we claim to be addressing. So, where do we go from here? How do we move beyond the illusion of progress to create genuine equity for Black women in the workplace? First, we need to disaggregate data. When organizations report on diversity metrics, they must break down results by both gender and race to reveal disparities that would otherwise remain hidden. Second, we need to create targeted pathways to leadership for Black women specifically. Mentorship programs, sponsorship initiatives, and leadership development opportunities must address the unique barriers Black women face at the intersection of gender and racial bias. Third, we need to strengthen structural protections for diversity initiatives so that progress can't be easily reversed with changing political winds or leadership transitions. Fourth, we need to value and fairly compensate the essential work disproportionately performed by Black women. This means supporting unionization efforts, advocating for living wages, and challenging occupational segregation. And finally, we need to listen to and amplify the voices of Black women themselves. As Yvette reminded me, the experts on Black women's workplace experiences are Black women themselves. I leave you today with this challenge. Reject the comforting illusion of progress. Question the celebratory headlines. Look beyond the surface statistics to ask who is truly benefiting and who remains excluded. Use your influence, whether as a business leader, colleague, investor, or consumer, to ensure that workplace equity initiatives genuinely include and advance Black women. The time for passive awareness has passed. What specific action will you take tomorrow to disrupt the status quo? How will you use your position to ensure that progress means progress for everyone? The answers to these questions will determine whether we continue to celebrate illusions or finally commit to creating a workplace where Black women's talents are recognized, valued, and rewarded. The choice is yours. The time is now, and the world is watching.